Everyone, if anyone is in from the SquidWorld team, just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Oh, we've got Crypto K here. And Crypto K, how's it going?
Good morning. How you going, mate?
Good, yeah. It'll be morning for you there. Are you over in Oz?
Yeah, 7 a.m. All the usual. I mean, I usually wake up around 5:30 or 6 anyway, so not a problem.
Cool. Okay, and we've got the manager in as well. SquidWorld, how's it going?
Yeah, good evening. It's 11 p.m. here in Norway, so everything's good.
Cool. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. here in the UK. Right, so if you guys are ready, I can start the record and introduce you. And actually, I'll also be doing a live stream over on our YouTube channel as well.
Sure, go ahead.
Welcome to the WorldCoin Talk community. I'm Glenn, your host. Today we have joining us SquidWorld. Speaking on behalf of SquidWorld as the manager, he's the co-founder of SquidWorld and Crypto K21. So we'll be talking about the SquidWorld project, the Squid Game theme mini P2E that's come in the lottery, the NFT Squid Game theme collection, and lots more about the project shortly. But first, can you introduce yourselves with your background and experience, guys?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And thank you for having us. Yeah, I know it's been a long time coming. We had all this AMA lined up. I think a couple of weeks back. Then we've had a bit of an issue with the obviously the contract and all that. So there's been a bit of a delay and all that. Just a bit of a background by myself. I'm Crypto K21. My background is actually formal background is in information technologies and business systems. However, I've been in the business world here, running a very successful labour hire company here in Australia. I've been involved in crypto, I think more or less from an investor point of view since 2014, in and out of crypto and all that. There hasn't been a need for me to, I guess, really to date to be involved fully in crypto, simply because I mean, as I said, I've got a successful business outside crypto. I don't really lift up crypto, so to speak. But one of the things that sort of trigger us off in that respect is obviously seeing all the scam and the rug pull that's been happening more or less from an investor perspective. So the manager, myself, and J3C, unfortunately, he can't join us at the moment. He's actually really sick at the moment. So hopefully you'll get to know him down the track. But look, the three of us came together and sort of put our heads together and see what we can do in terms of bringing value back into the space. Yeah, so that's a bit about myself.
Okay, great. And did the manager want to say an introduction? Okay, we can move on. So have you got a presentation for us here? I see you sharing the screen. Do you want to talk us through the white paper?
Okay. So look, I think the manager, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just having issues with my laptop.
Yeah, okay. So the manager is actually sharing the screen. I've got no control
Can you hear
over
me?
that. So
Yeah, but I think you're cutting in and out. I'm not sure if you try again. Okay, if you want to continue Crypto K21.
Yeah. So look, if the manager can bring the screen up, look, the as I said before, the whole the project that the reason why we came about with the SquidWorld sort of themes and project is simply because The manager, myself, and J3C, we before the SquidWorld project, we were involved in one of the squid related projects there. We were quite just a big wealth in there, and we put a fair bit of money into those investments. And yes, initially it went reasonably well, pretty good with everything else, and I guess they hit a roadblock with regards to obviously copyrights and things like that, and then it went sort of haywire, even though we've had all the promise and all that. So that sort of triggers us off with regards to starting our own projects to see what we can do in bringing the value back to the space and what have you. So we started SquidWorld, keeping in mind that they're potentially the Squid Game theme. I mean, I watched the series repeatedly over obviously when it came out and all that, and the project itself, we wanted to take advantage of obviously the SquidWorld theme as well. So the project is geared toward more or less a portal that would bring obviously the Squid Game theme into the project, but also at the same time bring all the utilities that we able to actually monopolize on out there. And allow investors to come into the space and obviously put their money and feel safe and comfortable. The project itself, I mean, we've had just a bit of a background with this. We started off on a private sale with which is a small group of people there before we had the pre-sale launch and all that. I think a week into the space, we found out that there was some issue with the actual contract itself, simply because obviously the percentage for the marketing wallets and obviously team wallets and what have you, nothing affected the investor from that perspective, but it's more to do with the tokens in the contract couldn't be converted back to BNB and all that. So that sort of put us back in. I guess that was that in our track with regards to moving forward, and we had to make a really hard choice at the time whether to actually continue on with the project, that is, take the tokens in the marketing wallets and then convert it back or sell it back against the charts and what have you there, and then convert it to BNB to enable us to actually go forward with the marketing and what have you. We thought about that. And that's I guess didn't sit really well with me in this respect. The difficulty for us with the project then was that we came to the community with I guess the position and determinations that we are transparent and accountability, accountable as far as what we do and all that. And then we hit this roadblock. So for us, it's a bit of a slap in the face in that respect. How do we actually counter this? Because by changing the contract, obviously people look at it in a different way in that respect. But I must admit that we've been pretty lucky. The community's actually stood behind us and support us in moving forward with that. So it took us probably, I think, around about a part of a week and a half to get the new contract in place. So what you have here now with the actual chart and the project itself is everything is locked in and good to go. So it's now all about moving forward.
Crypto K21. So are you going to? Is that what you're saying? With the contract needing to be changed, or?
It did. We made the decision to change the contract. So we've had the migrations. It took place probably around I think it's around a week ago. All the existing investors been airdropped with new tokens. Everything's in place. The original tokenomic that we had in place pretty much stays in place. So you have the project itself. You've got we've allocated essentially approximately 17% to the staking pools. So this the staking pool currently, there's 3 pools running at the moment. One pool is a 7-day timeline, which at around a 50% API. The second pool is around 30 days with 100%, and the third pool is 90 days with 200% API. So People can actually stake their tokens now if they want to participate in the projects. The 5% that we've got allocated to marketing funds, now that's been used on and off now with airdrops and bounty programs and what have you there. So that's happening there. 4% was allocated to, I guess, the development team or fund. One of the major issue that we find in this space is that you get a lot of people, and then look, I'm not saying every project's there. There's a lot of genuine projects out there that want to make things work and all that. But what we found over the obviously the involvement in the crypto space is that people come through to the community, made all these grand promises about what they can do. They're going to roll this out. They're going to do this. They're going to do that, and then when they hit a little roadblock, for example, then it's just easy to give up and then start a new contract and then bring in again. So being an investor myself, I've had, I guess, a lot to do with that in terms of getting burnt and what have you there. So from our perspective, look, the manager, myself, and J3C, we're not I guess developer, so to speak. We are businessmen in the real world. What we bring to the space is obviously our ability to actually put the jigsaw puzzle together, enable us to actually outsource the utility. We've got a very good, reliable development team based out in Holland, who's got probably around 30 plus developers behind them. So we engage their service to start rolling out the utilities and all that to the communities. And I think we've been doing that. We've got a P2E games that is due this Friday that's coming out, and then the lottery dApps and all that. So I'll go through that in more details a bit later in that respects. But going back to the 4% that we've allocated to the development team, the logic behind that is obviously, yes, you can engage, an outsourcing company and all, and different teams and all that to enable you to actually get utilities lined up and all that. But eventually, we're going to have to bring, reliable partnership or developers, so to speak, to come in on board with the teams. Then that 4% is to be used as an incentive to actually encourage these people to join us as a team in that respect. Obviously with the migrations and what have you there, you've got 40% or so roughly is now currently whole with the obviously the general communities. The liquidity pool, we fed one of the issue that we've had with the old contract with liquidity pool is that when Ping Cell finished, we fed around 80 BNB into the liquidity pool with probably around 16% token share into the pool there. When we've had the issue with the old contract, the pool itself is locked for 6 months. So we've had issue with them trying to drain the liquidity pool and put it back into the new pool and all that. What we've been able to do is actually drain around 62 BNB out of the old liquidity pool, and we fed that straight back into the new pool, as you can see now, and that has been locked for around 6 months. We had the 10% that we locked for the exchange listings and all that in the old contract and in the new pool as well. We've been able to actually unlock that 10% and use that to drain further liquidity pool around 2 B or so. So we used that to buy back against the charts around 3 or 4 days ago, and the remaining token was that we acquired actually burned into the burn wallets and all that. 6% we had allocated for the team, and that in itself has been locked for 3 months, already in place. And obviously we've got the 5% allocated to Price Wallet. That 5% that we've got there, the 3% is actually allocated to the grand finale game that we looking at developing down the tracks there, and then the 2% of this is for different prices against so the P2E games as well as the lottery dApps and all that. Yeah, so that's I guess a bit of a breakdown in terms of the obviously the token allocation.
Okay, great, Crypto. Okay, and I was looking at the Squid Game theme. You're saying it's the mini P2E game, and that's going to be coming out on Friday. It's in its final phase of development. Can we go over the game mechanics and the gameplay for the mini P2E game?
Well, the game itself, one of the things that we mindful about in I guess bringing the utility into out there for the communities and all that, while trying to keep it with in line with the Squid Game theme is obviously the copyrights. The last project that we were involved in with as an investor, as I said before, with the Squid related project, there was one of the major hurdle that they had is that they rolled it out with obviously the Squid game or Squid 2 games sort of project names and what have you there. Then they hit the copyright issue with CMC as well as the other stuff and all that. So they didn't go anywhere. We created this P2E games. It's the actual context of the game is still pretty much Squid Game sort of themes and all that there, but it's not necessarily I guess one of those games that you see in the Squid sort of game series, so to speak, right? But they're still maintaining that obviously the themes in that respect. You'll see that on Friday when it comes out, and obviously people can then start participate and all that there, but they do need Squid tokens in order to participate in the games.
I see, Crypto. Okay, and you've got the NFT Squid Game theme collection as well. I'm wondering, is that going to tie in with the P2E game, and you're going to have stake in a marketplace for the NFTs as well?
Well, the NFT, I mean, the manager can expand a bit more on that if he's, I guess, if he's got his computer back in line there. But it is a different utilities there, and so we I guess looking at that, you'll see that we've got the P2E games coming out. Now, please keep in mind, this is probably one of many games that we're looking at rolling out for the communities to actually bring the value back to the investments and obviously allow the engagement and the participation as well. We're thinking of obviously other P2E games that will come out, casino-related games, blackjack, roulette, poker games, and what have you in that respect. The lottery dApps is also something that we're rolling out. Now that in itself is also in its final phase of development. Keep in mind though, all this utility that we've got there, the P2E games and lottery, they're all being paid for out of private funds. So everything is locked in that respect there, and it will roll out as soon as all the tests and everything has been done and ticked off to make sure that everything is secure and what have you. We are looking at obviously NFT as a separate utility altogether in that respect. It's still pretty much a Squid Game theme NFT. You've got we're looking at probably the ability. Look, the minting, people can mint those NFT. Staking, there's a possibility, but we're also looking at its own marketplace as well.
Okay, I see. So how much are the NFTs going to cost to mint, and what utilities have you attached to the NFTs?
Look, it is still in discussion. So we're talking to a couple of potential development teams and all that to try and bring the concept together. But it will have a different level. You've got different level of rarity and what have you. So you've got people would be able to use token to purchase.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? I'm here.
Yeah, we can now.
So there will be six different types of NFTs that we have kind of set out for. Each will have different level of supply. Each will have different number of points for redeeming, and the highest rarity will be the front man from the Squid series. We're thinking there will only be 10 of those. Other NFT NFTs will be the player, the worker, the soldier, the managers, the VIPs. But the most difficult to get or to attain will be the front man, and possibly like only whales are gonna get that, possibly. So we haven't set a price for minting and those things because it's so early. It's just on the kind of script and ID phase, because this takes shitload of efforts and time to actually go through, with also funds. So now we're in a bear trend market, and of course we have to look into how we are going to plan it. We want our utilities to be good. We want our community to give inputs, also becoming alpha and beta testers down the line. But we have a scope for this metaverse game in like 18 to 24 months. So it kind of fits with the next season of Squid Game itself on Netflix, which will be very late next year or early 2024.
Great, yeah, and yeah, I saw the Netflix TV series Squid Game 2. They're producing it now, and it could be out later on in the fourth quarter, 2023. But you've got the SquidWorld Island MetaVerse that you're planning in the future as well. It's going to be a game, so I'm wondering if it's going to be inside like Sandbox or the Decentraland, or are you making your own metaverse?
We are planning for our own metaverse, and the game itself will be like an episode-based game. So that's why we also want to interact more with the community on kind of bringing out the stories, because we don't want to get ourselves into some legal conflicts with the TV series and stuff. So we want to base it off the TV series, but we don't want to copy the stories. We want to kind of build our own stories together with the communities. And the NFTs will definitely have a place in the game, but also like trading cards. So yeah, down the line, I think that will be kind of awesome, because also like 18 to 24 months, there will be a lot of development and innovations also regarding the metaverse.
Okay, great, manager. And we touched on the mini P2E game. I'm wondering if you can go into some details on how the gameplay works and the game mechanics for people.
No, we can't do that now. It's too early, and we can't disclose what we're planning, because then we have copycats listening in or whatever. So that's for not to disclose yet.
But that's launching this Friday, I think. So people will be able to play it and try it out starting on Friday. Yeah.
What? We're not launching that on Friday.
The mini P2E game, I think. Crypto.
Yeah, you mean the P2E game? Yes.
The Island Metaverse game.
Oh, not the meta. No, I was meaning the mini P2E game. If you could tell us some details about that, we touched on that earlier on with Crypto. Okay.
Yeah, Crypto K, you can tell more about that.
Well, the games, as I said before, I think we've had a bit of a snapshots out there in the community, but essentially it's an arcade game. And look, please bear in mind that, as I said before, the P2E game is just one of the many games that we're looking at rolling out just to engage the community while we go through, obviously, the development with other projects and utilities and things like that that's coming out. It will be an arcade related games. I think people, those who've seen it, will be. I think it's a Minesweep games with obviously Squid themes, sort of context in games and what have you there, so people can actually look at that. But as I said before, you do need Squid token to actually enable you to participate in the games.
Yeah, it's also important to say that it's PC based. For now, down the road, when we make more mini play-to-earn games. We will look at who's the most attractable game and make it available for Android as well. iOS demands a little more efforts and money, so that we have to look down to what we do later on. But we are thinking about casinos, like it states here, blackjack, roulette, poker games, kind of stuff that engage the communities and also empowers the project, burns tokens, and where we give away prizes, and you actually also can earn tokens while you play.
See the manager, and you've got the lottery DApp as well. That's in development. How's that going to work? You've got lotteries and raffles involved there. How can investors get involved with the lottery and the raffles?
Yeah. So
well,
yeah. Go on, Imagine.
No, you can take it.
Yeah, look. So we thinking of obviously there will be people will be able to actually purchase using either the token or BNB for the lottery games. The prize pool, there will be an ultimate prize pool. So let's say out of the 100%, you've got probably around 70% or so will be allocated to the prize pool, and then you've got the 10% that goes into to marketing, 10% goes into development, and as well as the 10% that will go into burn. But ultimately, people will play, obviously participate in the lottery with the ultimate prize pool. We're still thinking whether the prize pool would be either one single winner gets all in this respect, or will there be obviously first, second, and third prize winner in that respect. So we're firming that up with the development team to try and put that in place.
Great.
Is there set Crypto K any price for the tickets?
Price as in yeah the money that we obviously acquire from people participating or buying there. So the prize will be in tokens. So those prize, as I said before, 70% or so will goes toward the prize pool as people purchase the tickets and what have you in that respect. The other 30%, 10% will goes into marketing, 10% development, and then the other 10% will goes into burn wallet to reduce the total supply.
Okay, great. And can we go into tokenomics breakdown and the buy and sell tax, how that works for investors? I know you've got a max wallet as well and a max sell per transaction.
Yeah, so look, we've decided one of the things when we came together and formulated obviously the contracts and all that is obviously our ability to actually set the function in the contract to enable to actually set the max wallets and the max transactions. So the current contract that we've got out there at the moment, the max wallet is actually 3% of the total supply. So we feel that that's a right percentage to enable people to actually come in and look. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing stopping people, that, with people using different wallets and all that to acquire more than the 3% and all that in that respect there. But we feel that the 3% would be a fair percentage there. It has the ability for us in the contract to actually increase that percentage holding or reduce that accordingly in that respect. But at the moment, it's set to 3%. Max transaction is at 0.5% for both buy and sell. This will obviously the ability to increase and decrease in the contract can be done also in that respect there. It also allowed the team to actually have a bit more obviously controlled over. I guess once you've rolled the contract out there, there's not much you can do with regards to controlling the charts and all that. But these sort of percentage that we have in the contract allow the team a bit of I guess control as far as not crashing the chart by emptying the 3% in one go, for example, which does affect all the other holders and all that as well. The internal tax wallet to wallet is set at 0%. It has the capacity for us to actually put that in place for up to 10% in that respect, but it's not being done at the moment. Obviously, we, being an investor ourselves, we know that people do want the ability to actually move their token to different wallets and things like that in case their original wallet's being compromised and things like that. So we've set that tax at 0. The airdrop functionality, obviously that that's not part of the functions anymore. That's with the old contract. So we decided to take that out because it's actually raised a bit of a security risk as well for us within the original contract. So, but we engage, we utilize third-party apps and all that to provide airdrops for people and obviously participants and all that down the track. With the total supply allocation breakdown, as I said before, you've got 17% allocated to staking contracts and wallets, and that's being obviously that's live at the moment, so people can participate in that immediately. The 2.4% allocated to the liquidity pool, that has been locked for 180 days. 4% that we've had there from private sale, that's allocated there. 7.8% allocated, obviously. Now that 7.8%, I'll leave that. I'll come back to that. But the 28.4% is actually what the community is actually able to hold out there at the moment through migrations and airdrops and what have you. 10% allocated to the exchange listing funds. That's in itself been locked for 30 days as per similar to the old, obviously, arrangement with the old contract. 5% marketing, 5% to the prize wallet, with 3% allocated to the SquidWorld Island Grand Finale. So that's the MetaVerse game Grand Finale jackpot prize that we allocated 3% to. The other 2% out of that 5% obviously will be allocated to the P2E games and all the other prize that we're thinking down the tracks. And obviously that wallet received obviously the 1% tax reflections that we've got from buys and sells as well. 6% is allocated to the team wallet. That's been locked for 3 months. 4% to development, as I said before. Going back to that 7.8%. So what we've done in that respect, when we move when we migrate the old tokens across to the new ones, we had to work through obviously the staking wallets, people who were staking, and obviously the rewards and all that. That we're able to migrate and all that. That's now been finalized. All the staking wallets holders and all that's been reimbursed, as well as the rewards and APIs and all that been reimbursed and all that. So what's left in this wallet here is around the 7.8% out of the total supply. 3% we've allocated to the partnership. This is essentially for people down the tracks as we go through engaging. Obviously, people like yourself or the other potential partners and all that to allow the 3% there. That 4.8% remaining, that will be burnt. We've already advised the community accordingly, and that's been sitting in that wallet now. What we will do is obviously burn probably around 2.5% of that amount when we reach the 300K market cap, and then the balance of those tokens when we reach 1 million market cap.
Okay, great, Crypto. Okay, and how can you get involved with the grand final prize, whether when it gets 3% of the total supply in the future? Do you have to hold a certain amount of tokens? How does it work?
So as the manager said before, I mean that's the SquidWorld Island Grand Finale prize. That's in the context of the MetaVerse games that we're looking at creating there. So a participant will be able to it will have in games obviously buy and rewards and penalties and all that as people participate. But they do need to have Squid token as how do I put this, as an entry, allow them to actually participate in the games and what have you in that respect. That 3%, obviously people will play the games, able to engage within the games. with the rewards and the NFTs and what have you, there would ultimately the final winner will receive the 3% grand finale prize.
See, crypto. Okay, and did you have another audit on the smart contract when you changed the contract?
Sorry, say that again.
Have another smart contract audit on the contract when you changed it?
Smart contract audit. The new contract. I mean, the old contract we've had an audit with Interfied audits that's been done. The new contract also has been audited by Interfied, and everything is ticked off. I think we received, the manager, is it nine? I think 9 out of 10 points altogether with the current smart contract.
Yeah, it's on the screen now.
Yeah, so from a security perspective and all that, everything is pretty good to go as far as the new contract is concerned as well.
Absolutely, just some minor exploits there that is fixed, and like you said, we have an overall score 9 out of 10, so that's a good audit.
Awesome. And what's the marketing plans going forward? What are you planning around the, like you say, next year, the Netflix TV series? It could be hotting up with the Squid Game 2 series launching on Netflix.
Look, for us, I guess with the Netflix series coming out a bit later, that actually give us a bit of breathing space. I'll be honest with you. With the other things there, for us, we wanted to be able to position SquidWorld as a project to enable us to actually monopolize on the Squid Game sort of fans and communities and all that themes going forward. But it allow us then to also build ourselves, from a branding perspective, with regards to who we are. Look, I'll be upfront with our listeners with regards to, while the SquidWorld project is geared toward more or less Squid Game themes and all that, but we've got to be realistic about obviously the partnership side of things as well. Our roadmaps that we've got there obviously outline where we want to take these projects and where we want to, how we want to position ourselves as a project to enable to take the project forwards and all that. But the partnership with Netflix series and all that, obviously we as a project would be keen to actually push that barrel as well going forward there, but we've got to be realistic as far as whether ultimately it is the Netflix officials and all that will make a final say and all that. But as a project, we want to be able to obviously stand out in the event that the Netflix series official or Netflix itself decide to actually enter the crypto space, that they will see SquidWorld as a viable project to allow us to onboard into the crypto space. So the roadmaps, if you can go through the roadmaps itself, just bear with me. Let me just go on my screen. So you've got phase 1. We've got the core team onboarding, release information. So the website that you're seeing at the moment is purely just an informational website. We're thinking of having a bit more of an interactive website as we get closer to the MetaVerse games and all that, to allow people to actually use the website to actually enter into the game itself. Smart contract audit you've got there. I myself is KYC, and the team members docs internally so we know who each others are. Light paper's been released, social media that's been happening, pre-launch marketing and all that, that's already done. AMAs, we're doing one now with you guys. We've done, I guess, a number of airdrops with the community on gleams and giveaways and what have you. We are looking at, I think the manager, we were talking to each other the other day about potentially the big the buyback competitions and all that we're looking at putting in place as well. I think we've got a competition running at the moment as well, the manager, with on Gleam.
Yeah, it's in the chat for people to join. So it's basically to interact with Telegram and Twitter account of ours, and do a retweet, do a buy 0.1 BNB, post the tax hash and your wallet, and then you're good to go to win a BNB.
Yeah, okay. Just make sure you provide your wallet address, please, where you're participating. Because one of the things that we found is people decide not just put in some random text into that, and then we don't know who's who and things like that. So make sure you give us your wallets and all that if you participate in the competition. Phase 2, private sales. Obviously, we've got that. We did a pink sell in the old contract that was launched there, which allow us to actually fund the liquidity pools and what have you. Stage 1 marketing, so that's happening. Launch on Pancake Swap, so that's now live with the new contracts. Release swap staking, so that's live as well. The release of mini P2E games that will be this Friday. And then we'll start looking at obviously the NFT platforms, the lotteries and all that. As I said before, that's been developed concurrently, and that's also in its final phase of development in that respect. So as soon as everything is done and tested, make sure that all the security is being safe and secure and all that there, we will roll that out live as well. The Twitter biggest buy comps and all that, so we will be looking at implementing that. The CMC, so we've actually in the process of applications been lodged with CMC already. That also been, I guess, how do I put it, push in quotation mark. So hopefully we'll see that finalized sooner than later. Release of the lottery raffle, so that's I guess due from the phase 2. Update and release Squid Games Island website, so that's the interactive website that I told you about just before. Then we'll be pushing now J3C, which is our COO. Unfortunately, he's unable to join us. He's really sick at the moment. We've been talking the last 24 hours, been throwing ups and all that. It's got a bug, so he's unable to join us. But his role is obviously to push the marketing side of things as well. So I know that he's been talking to a number of potential marketing firms out there in terms of partnership and trying to bring them on board and all that. So hopefully he'll give the community a bit more information on that respect once you participate in I guess our TGs and all that. Release of Squid Game and NFT staking, we spoke about that. MetaVerse games, commence discussion with exchange. So that's the 10% that we've locked there for 1 month or so. That's to actually allow us to, obviously, as you know, once we start talking to the exchange and all that, they would want obviously both BNB as well as tokens to be allocated certain amounts and all that. So the 10% has been allocated for that purpose. The consideration on the multi-chain bridge to allow other obviously chains and all that to participate in there. So that's I guess that's part of our roadmaps, and we will be in I guess discussion with the relevant people when the time comes. Discussion with Netflix game series, what we spoke about before, the potential partnership or position ourselves as a project to enable us to actually have the best chance should Netflix games official decide to enter the crypto space. And we'll look at obviously one of the things that we want to do is that we don't just, with these roadmaps that we put in place, this is probably just one of the chapter. We're here to stay as a team. We want to continue pushing our utilities and bring value to the community. So we'll be looking at what we can do with SquidWorld token as well going forward, as far as the real world usage and all that. Phase 4, you've got CERTIC audit, grand finale prize, securing onboard real utilities, and update the white papers and all that.
Yeah, I think that we can break down the roadmap also into kind of introduction phase, which we had pre-launch, where we did AMAs around the Telegram with the USA Crypto Group, with Crypto Talk. We had Gollum with us. We had Cryptonoid Hangout and also Aquarium Whale Talk. And then we turned into kind of the growth phase where we did also a lot of AMAs with the Crypto Hideout, Asset.me, Hangout, the Future Lounge, the Crypto Miners, the Meta Moonshots. We had Venom, we had Sir's Investment Group, Coination, we had Caesar Calls last week, and now we're here at Wayne Call Talk, and we're gonna have also the Crypto Gold Social tomorrow, and also Roots Lounge. So we are continuously doing AMAs. We are not doing a lot of calls right now because we are in the bear trend market, so we don't see a lot of buys if we do calls. But basically, in this growth phase, we are finishing up with Telegram, because when we've done all the AMAs and all the callers that mean something and that we know works, then we're kind of done with Telegram, because then people know us. Telegram itself is like a hype train. So then we have to take.
Not sure, we lost the manager there.
Yeah, I think you may have lost him there. Yeah. As the manager was saying, so for us, we once we've done all this and get.
I lost it there.
Yeah, go on, the manager. Can hear you now.
No, I was saying that we are doing AMAs and stuff around Telegram now, but when we've kind of done that, we have to look at those marketing partners that we are kind of having discussions with now, and also J3C is handling, to look at trending outside Telegram. When we get CMC, when we get CoinGecko, trending on DEX tools, also using the algorithms on the internet for social medias, Google Ads, and also Twitter Spaces, YouTube influencers, all those kind of stuff, because there's a lot of investors that's not on Telegram, and we have to look at AMAs also on Discord, which we have done one before. Yeah.
Let's open it up to the rest of the team if anyone's got a question for Crypto K or the manager here at SquidWorld. Go ahead. Well, let's move on to community investor questions. Let's see, Western Beast, you had a question for Crypto K or the manager at SquidWorld. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. All right, so I actually have a few questions from your websites. The one I wanted asking first is about the statement on your website where you said that you cannot control the daily market sentiments, but you can offer your platform a safe, secure platform where skilled and experienced and committed team will drive its token to the stratosphere. We are all aware that the market sentiment can be really unpredictable, but are there any buy and sell countermeasures, and are there any moves
So one of the things
that
that
will
we
enable those who invest to ensure that their funds are safe?
yes. So look, that's keep in mind though. We for us as a team, as I said before, I mean we came into the project with under no illusion with regards to what our abilities and things like that, as far as the project team is concerned. What we wanted to do is actually create a portal whereby our potential investor or communities or existing investor comes into a project with obviously a certainty and you know, for us, and I'm talking myself as an investor as well, you know, from an investor perspective. For us, going to a project, you get all you know, all hyped up with obviously what the project can do and things like that, and then either and yes, either utilities are not being implemented, or there's delayed in utilities, or people hit a copyright issue and things like that and given up and things like that, and then all your tokens and what have you, your investment's gone. We know what's happening as an investor. We know how you feel as community members. So we wanted to come in here as a team to what we do as a team. We want to bring back, obviously, the transparency to the community. People will see what we do. Even, I think, for some of those who stay with us through, obviously, the issue that we had with the old contract, through the migration, and obviously through the airdrops and the other stuff that we implemented today up until this time here, people can see that we are true to our words, right? We said a certain thing, we've done, and then we implement it. So I think for those people, and I'm thankful for them, obviously, putting their trust in the team. But we wanted to bring back that community transparency in this space. For us, the projects, with all the issue that we've had today, for example, with the other stuff, no, it's just easy for me to actually just give it up. But I can say one thing to you, right? This is probably my first project in the crypto space, and I want to do it right. The manager probably had a lot more experience in the crypto space in dealing with other, and he was part of the other many successful business projects in the past as well. But for me personally, I want to make this the one and only project for us to go forward as far as a long term, and allow to bring the value to our investors and what have you in that respect. There has been a lot of private funds that put in place. When you're talking about all the utility that we've rolled out today, for example, all the marketing that we push through and all that that has been funded privately in terms of pushing the project, and there will be a lot more funds putting in place to try and drive this project as well. All we ask community to do, and we know that you've been burned before, you've gone through, you've heard all this before, and we may sound like a broken record, but I can assure you we are here to stay as a project going forward. We're not going anywhere.
I'm actually very reassured now. Moving on to my second question. I'm seeing on your fund allocation that you dedicated 5% to marketing funds, but I see no plans for any large-scale awareness program. I mean, collaborations with influencers, and aside from the aim is that you're holding on some very popular, um, on some very popular AMA platforms, like WillCoin Talk and the others you mentioned. I really don't see any form of interaction with influencers. And or is it that they fall under your partnerships category, which you allocated 40% of your funds to?
There actually has been happening. We've got a bounty programs running at the moment. We've got, I think, 4 shillers shilling the projects there. I guess one of the things that we sort of had to put a pause on the projects up until this point in time is because of the migration and the old contract issues and all that. So you haven't seen much of that, but it is happening in the background. J3C is actually talking to a number of influencers at the moment to try and roll it out. So what we're saying to the community as of this point going forward is that everything that yes, it's a bit of a late start for us, unfortunately, because of the issue, but we want to actually bring to the community a project and a contract that are safe and secure for people to invest in going forward. There's no security risk or loopholes and things like that. That's why we put through, obviously, the auditing process and things like that as well. But all this issue is now behind us, and we as a team now are actually refocusing. And now it's allow us to actually now focus on the marketing and drive the exposure of SquidWorld going forward.
Absolutely. We're kind of building the ground floor now, also in terms of different communities, where we are building Chinese, Korean, Indonesian, Vietnam, Germany, Turkey. We're gonna have a Turkish AMA tomorrow, so we're taking steps that road. We're partnering up with community managers and chillers and mods around there, and also in the background looking for the best marketing partners we can have, taking this further than actually we can ourselves, because we are more into kind of leading mm, and doing the strategic works, and also being head of the operations. But we really need some good sidekick partners as well that can use their contacts and drive this to the next levels when the market opens up again. Hopefully, not too long.
For sure.
All right, all right. I really appreciate your answers. I'm wishing you guys the best, and I hope the project stays bullish moonward. Over to you, Glenn.
Thanks for the questions, Western Beast. Let's move to Venice. You had a question for SquidWorld team. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Glenn. Okay, I have a question about SquidWorld Island Metaverse game. Could you please tell us that how long does your SquidWorld Island Metaverse game last? Is it only one-time playable game? Because you have only 5% of tokens supply that is reserved for game rewards, and there is also allocated 1% for reward pool coming from tax, and you're giving 3% of total supply as grand prize. So I think this is not enough. And how would you reserve tokens for the next game if you have another SquidWorld Island Metaverse game?
So we're thinking. Look, I don't want to disclose, as the manager said before, the concept behind what we want to do. But I understand your questions. Um, there, how do I put this? There's different ways to skin a cat, right? At this stage, as we launching the projects and looking at obviously rolling out certain utilities and what have you there, that SquidWorld token, the 3%, has been allocated for that purpose in that respect. But we're looking at the game itself. There will be a different level, different tiers of the games that allow obviously even an in-game token, so to speak, that will be allocated as price and things like that as well. In that respect, so the 3% is not necessarily the only one as a price going forward. But I don't really want to give, as I said, too much information, if you like, out there as in the public domain. But we will be sitting down and going through with our developers and what have you when we look at the metaverse game to try and see whether we can actually bring the sustainability into the games going forward as well. So it has been thought of as part of obviously your question there, and we are looking at ways and means to address that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I understood.
and if or when this becomes a really good game and people loves it and they interact, they help us develop and test and write more stories down the road as we go, then of course we have to look at the tokenomics and stuff. But you know as well as me that we as a team with that kind of success can do a lot of buybacks, which will be positive both for the charts, but also can be tokens recharged into prices.
Okay, got it. And and my next question is, if there is as I was reading on your website that there is a max wallet holding of 3%. So it got me thinking that how would you be able to send the rewards to the winner of the Squidworld Island Metaverse Grand Final prize, which has a minimum of 3% as reward? He or she would already have some percentage of the tokens held. How will the prize come in their wallet?
These this kind of questions comes up every AMA, and it's kind of funny. But the buy and sell max wallets is connected to the charts, and the buys on PancakeSwap or PooCoin doesn't affect that we can't send more tokens into the same wallet. If it should be a problem, which is not likely, then we would just allocate a new token, fill it up, and send the keys to the person, or they themselves will just make a new wallet, and problem
Yeah.
solved. That's the beauty
Okay,
of
okay.
crypto. You can always add a new wallet.
Yeah, understood. And on your roadmap under phase 4, it's mentioned that securing and onboarding real world utility partnerships. So could you please tell us what kind of real world utilities you will be onboarding with SquidWorld?
Well, it's
Well,
kind
I
of
mean, look,
connected to developing. Right now, we have a big team in Netherlands with 25 devs in-house there, which is outsourced to us. So we are trying to look at finding talents, maybe among our community or among our testers, or referred by friends and loyal holders to actually onboard them on our side, on our team. And also we are looking into other partnerships that we will be looking at. We have looked at payment solutions. That's kind of interesting. I'm not going to go too much in details, but what we have looked at is kind of crypto swap and purchase solutions, where you basically have limitless non-custodial crypto swap service. You can exchange crypto instantly. You don't have any, you don't even need an account. You can buy our token SquidWorld SQWB with BTC, all coins. You could buy with dollar, euro, pounds, and so on. So if you can kind of buy our tokens from any exchange or wallet with that service, that's what we're kind of looking at and thinking about on a strategic level.
can I summarize it this way?
Yeah.
With the real, there's a lot of potential. I mean, as an investor in this space, and the communities were fully aware of this as well. The blockchain technology, there's always new technologies and new, obviously, utility that's coming out and all that. What we aim to do as a team is actually to enable us to actually marry these two, the potential new utility that may be in place, whether it's ATM, whether it's as the manager said before, with regards to the ability to credit card purchase and things like that, for example. All of this, when we come down to that stage, looking at the real world utility usage for SQW and all that go hand in hand with our branding and exposure as well. So obviously, if you have the exposure, and obviously the project itself is humming along when we reach that obviously crossroad, for example, the world is our oysters. We can look at different facility, and we will obviously take the team itself has an idea in terms of where we want to take the project, but we're also very open to the community inputs and all that, as well as to what other utilities and potential out there and how they want to see SquidWorld token going forward, as well as the real world usage as well. So, it's not. I guess we don't want to give the exact what we want to do, simply because there's so many things that we can do as a project itself. But in the meantime, I guess you got to learn to walk before you can run, if you know what I'm saying. right? So let's focus on where we're at the moment. Bring our, obviously brand ourselves as a token, get the exposure that we need. Obviously, the community behind us and all that, and then we can look at all these things down the track.
Yeah, I really agree with you because onboarding the real world assets with a crypto and blockchain, it's really impressive. Okay, here's my next question. Uh, I also read that you have plans for a certic audit on the phase four. Uh, it got me thinking that why not getting the audit before launch to least give investors assurance that the contract is safe, and why it is at the last phase of your roadmap.
Well, two things.
We
Costing
actually
is
have an
one.
audit.
Um, Costing is one. Obviously, CERTIC, as you know, how much it costs. I think you're looking around 20 grand to 25 grand, as a starting point. Um, this is why I know that, again, investor wanted that surety and all that, but I'd like this to say that, with all the things that we've done today as a team, given all the ups and downs that we faced over the last 4 weeks or so with the project itself, I know there has been a lot of uh, uh, um, what do you call it, scammers that's replicating the our names and took advantage of a certain thing, for example, on Twitter and all that there, and then got our investor going into their thing and got and scam people accordingly. We that's, I guess, for us, that can't be helped in that respect, because there will always be scammers and all that. We ask people to do actually make sure that they enter our Telegram groups, make sure that they get the proper contracts and all that if they want to start investing in the project. But the certain audit that we've got an audit happening in place. I myself have actually KYC with Interfi Audit as well as Anony Docs. There's so double KYC. As well as the contract itself received 9 out of 10 points from Interfi as far as safety and all that's concerned as well. So whilst I understand some people reservation with the certain audit, for example, I'll give you an example. The last project that we've had, not us, but as an investor, for example, the Squid Related Game, they've gone to a certain audit, and guess where they are now? It's the whole thing got shut down, right?
They
So
actually audited the wrong contract.
well, that as well. But then they've gone back and reordered it, and then the certain audit came out, and everything is all ticked off there. But that's it.
Yeah.
It's gone.
But to kind of sum up the thing with the CERTIC audits, we actually can't do CERTIC audits on what we're planning, because it's not about one contract. It's about more contracts, different contracts also related to the game down the road. So when we actually going to do it, it will cost a lot. We are not going to pay for just one contract. We're going to pay for more contracts. So in that terms, we chose Interfi to kind of audit our smart contract for the token, but also for the other contracts related to the staking and the games. And like CryptoK said here, I think that the actions and our efforts and our communication and collaboration with the communities now the last weeks has kind of shown that we're trustful. We are not here to make phonies out of ourselves or to scam anyone or honeypot you guys or whatever. So yeah, I think that's good enough answers if you look back now 4 weeks and where we are today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'm asking a lot of questions because I really love your project behind SquidWorld. I am a fan of Squid Game. And one more thing I want to ask about your project. As we all know that a Squid Game series was a huge success because of its unpredictable plot twist, and a lot of interesting things were there. So it got me thinking that when season 2 is launched, or when season 2 is coming, So, will you consider any community engagement games before each season 2 episode, like who dies in what episode, what game will they be playing next, or any kind of prediction games to engage your community? So, any kind of plans like these?
Yeah, yeah, of course. We're gonna engage the community.
It
We're
is.
gonna have
It
a
is.
lot of
Yeah.
contests, and after each episode, we will kind of make contest what happened next. In terms of our game development, also, like I said, we want our community to engage and interact. We're not gonna copy the series itself, but we're basing it on it. So then it's like, okay, if you don't like things in the TV series you see, you want a kind of other story, then we can make the story right if the community wants that. If there is things that they really loved, we can build the stories around that. So yeah, we want that, and we want contests, and we really want to interact with the TV series, but not copying things from the TV series.
I guess in a way
Okay,
you can see. In a way you can see
sorry,
what
go
we
on.
do as well. Even the in the buy and sell tax. You know, being an investor and being involved in different Telegram groups and what have you. You know, I hear a lot and I see a lot of investors asking for, you know, if the token is being burned, if there are reflections, if there are you know, tax you know, incentive and things like that, for example. So this is where you see in our buys and sell tax breakdown there that we, I guess, we try to accommodate all the community members as far as what they wish and all that. So you have the obviously the component for the burn, the reflections, and obviously you know, the marketing wallet and things like that that we need to actually sustain ourselves as a project, but also, you know, the liquidity to feed the liquidity pools and what have you as well. So, you know, if you look at the way that we structure the projects and the breakdowns and all that, you'll see what we as a team, how our approach is going forward, and that will apply to your question down the tracks with regards to our ability to actually marry in with what's out there as far as the TV series itself is concerned. But as the manager said, we got to be mindful with obviously the intellectual copyrights and things like that as well.
But we can make quiz mini games and a lot of stuff to interact with the communities where you can win prizes. So we're definitely gonna do those things.
Yeah, I think it will be really great to engage the community with these kind of things. It will just maintain the hype among community, because I think it's necessary. And one last question from my side, and I'll just uh, ask it. Okay, will there be any beta launch planned for which you can give access to some testers to know potential risks or find bugs within the game?
Yeah,
Yes, there
like I
will be.
said, we want the community to be both alpha testers and beta testers, and that will also probably be connected to who holds the NFTs and not. So our most trusted investors in terms of holding the tokens, but also that has bought the NFTs, will be eligible for as testers, external testers.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. It has been really great talking to you and listening you about great plans and utilities you have. And thank you for listening my all questions patiently and answering them beautifully. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
For the questions, Dennis, let's move on to Favor Joy. Favor Joy, you had a question for SquidWorld. Go ahead. Are you there, Favor Joy? No? Let's move to Uncle Sam. You had a question for SquidWorld team. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, man. I want to ask him, most of these tokens, something similar to the SquidWorld, is actually based on hype. For example, you need a certain amount of hype threshold, like Dogecoin, so you can attain a specific market cap. So, aside from the hype, are there any other features that will make you attain this market cap?
Sorry, I got cut in and out your questions. Can you repeat that, please?
Most of the projects are actually based on hype. Do you agree with that? For example, you need hype from the community members to show the project token so a lot of people know about it. So are you guys based on hype?
No. If we were based on hype, we wouldn't have a 18 months to 24 months roadmap for now or longer. So we wouldn't have all the utilities planned or built either. We're not a meme in traditional way. We're not kind of a degen play where you just invest and hope for 10x and then you ape out. We don't want those investors. We want those who actually are part of the SquidWorld normal life communities, fans from all over the world that wants to interact, that has interest in the TV series and interest in crypto, and that wants to create ecosystems together with us, consisting of mini games and lottery, uh, the MetaVerse games, and different types of actual, yeah, kind of services you can build on top of that in the MetaVerse, because you can actually build it much larger than just with a game or a story in the MetaVerse. That can be like fan shops, um, and different stuff inside the metaverse that you can interact with. So this is not a hype token. It's not.
I think I get it. All right, so let's talk about the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
What utilities will this metaverse bring, and how would the metaverse be beneficial?
Well, right now in the metaverse, we are thinking the game, and the game itself, where you can probably use your NFTs like an avatar in the game, where you can play aside your friends, you can play against your other friends or persons from around the world that you want to see fail or lose from you guys. And the NFTs will have different kind of set of values and skill sets. So it's all placed in the metaverse. And down the road, we can add more utilities to the NFTs in terms of the metaverse. That's all I actually can say now, because it's on the table.
I was gonna say you don't want to give out too much information, so because you get
No.
people listening in, and then they start replicating the concepts and what have you in that respect there. But
Yeah, yeah.
I can assure that all the listeners at the moment. Look, we as a project team, one of the underlying drivers for us as a team is transparency, accountability, and community engagement. Right? If you have the community behind you and you provide that transparency and accountability, then the world is your oysters. There's a lot that we can do together as a community, but as the manager said, we don't want the day traders or people who just come in and want to see a 10x or 100x and all that there, then sell their tokens and moved on and things like that. We don't want those sort of people, right? The project itself, for us, yes, we want the charts to go up as organically. With this, we're not that concerned about where we're at the moment with the charts, because we know that once we put everything in place and provide the community with that trust as a team, that all these pricings and the charts and all will come naturally with this respect. So the key driver for us as a team is to do what we say, or what we promise. And that's one of the I guess the major issue with a lot of the project teams out there at the moment, is that they make all those promises and then they don't deliver. And then people get alienated and get burnt in the process and all that. We understand the community reservation as a thing there. And yes, you might look at us and say, look, this is probably just another project out there. But you have in us as a team the determination and the driving force to take this project to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I've said also in earlier AMAs, don't invest more than you actually can afford, because this is not a hype. This is long term. So if you're planning to invest like 10 BNB, well, maybe you shouldn't do that right now. Just invest 1 or 2 at the max. See how it goes. See if there's other projects you can invest, take profits from, and then reinvest in our token, because this is long term. So
Okay,
if you
great.
need 5x now or 10x now, do not invest in our token. Wait until you get profits from other places and put it back in as a bank.
Okay, great. Thanks for the questions, Uncle Sam. I think Nathaniel had his hand up, but he might have put his hand down. Are you there, Nathaniel? No. So yeah, if we can just do a recap on the project. There's with the SquidWorld, there's 361 in the AMA. I think a lot of people have joined the call later on. So if you can give us a recap over the SquidWorld project, that'd be great, guys.
Yeah. So look, the essentially with SquidWorld projects, we've had a bit of a stumbling block with the old contracts. We've been able to successfully migrate the token to a new contract, so now that's in place and everything in place. The utilities and all that are coming out. We've got the P2E games lined up. It's going through testing at the moment to make sure everything is secure and in place and all that. That will be the timeline for that one will be rolling out this Friday. We've got the lottery that's also at the same time in its final phase of development. So as soon as that is finalized, that will be rolled out as well. The staking utility, that's already live there on our website, so people can start participate in those staking. But you need SquidWorld token to allow you to participate in that respect. Going forward as a team, we will keep driving and pushing our brand exposure. You've got Trace J3C who couldn't participate this morning with this AMA, but he's been pushing fairly hard with regards to the marketing, engaging the influencers and the exposure for the SquidWorld tokens or brand. All we can say now to the community, for those who's listening there, is that we are now ready to go, right? And we will be pushing this fairly hard in the coming weeks to get our brand and exposure out there.
Great. Well, it's been great speaking to Crypto K21 and the manager. They come across very genuine guys. So it's been a pleasure speaking tonight with the SquidWorld project. And yeah, as we always say, though, welcome talks for research and educational purposes. It's not financial advice, but you can check out the website, the white paper, and the official socials there in our main chat. And yeah, do check out the website and the white paper. And if you like what you see, then we've got posted in the chat there, as well as a link to the PooCoin chart if you want to take the contact address and get involved with the community over at SquidWorld. Thank you very much for coming today, guys. We've still got quite a bit of time, and Nathaniel's got his hand up, so let's just go over to Nathaniel and see what his question was. Hi, Nathaniel. You have a question for the SquidWorld team?
Yeah, I think I got a question for Richard. Thank you for muting me. I'd like to ask about how do we unlock talking about the game? There are a lot of blockchain game in the crypto space now, which they demand a lot of NFTs for the utilization and the unlocking of the in features and items. But I would like to ask, what are your own criteria, or how do we unlock your in-game features? Are we still going to be using NFT? And if yes, how much of an NFT are we going to be using to unlock your in-game features for our own benefit?
I don't think we can answer that fully now, 18 to 24 months before it actually should come out. That's what's planned, but unlocking features will, of course, be connected to the NFTs, but also in terms of how much in-game points you get and stuff, and items you're collecting in the game. That will also unlock features and rankings throughout the different parts of the games. Yeah.
Well, I think you've answered my question.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nathaniel. I think we've got to spin the wheel now as well. We'll have one lucky winner, $50.
Yeah, I got the wheel up here. And we're doing 2 spins for 2 lucky winners for $50 each. And we'll grab your ID.
One per question.
Oh, just one. Okay, so just one lucky winner. Here you go. Let me grab your ID. And we'll DM you guys for your wallets, and we'll send over the prizes.
Okay, I'll finish the recording and send over a copy for you to share with your community at SquidWorld. Thank you very much, Crypto K and the manager, for joining us today. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Glenn.
Pleasure are on our side. Very happy to have joined you guys, and you have a great community. So keep in touch, guys, and visit us and join our VCs as well, and ask questions if you have any that you can come to head later. We'll be around. We cover all time zones, so it's impossible to ask where's the dev in our group because we have Canada, Norway, and Australia.
Great. Yeah, like I say, if you've got any questions after the AMA, we can get you safely over to the official Telegram. That's in our main chat. I'll finish the recording and send a copy over for you guys to share with your community, and I'll send that into our main chat for our community to listen back to later.
Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a nice day or evening.
You too, yeah.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
See you.